Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. See a lot of guests joining us. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started in 2 minutes as everybody enters the Zoom webinar. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the Out-of-State Student Welcome Panel. Tonight, we'll be hearing answers to frequently asked questions from our current undergraduate students. Our panelists will each introduce themselves before answering their first question tonight. If topics come up based on their introductions, please use the Q&A feature for follow-up questions. Today's panel is being recorded and will be available on the admissions YouTube page. There are some upcoming virtual events for both the College of Arts and Sciences and the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, which we encourage you to attend, and we'll post those links and details in the chat for your reference in a few minutes. This evening, we are joined by Assistant Director of Admissions and Connecticut Representative Lauren Sangemino and the Associate Dean of Admissions, Robert Perdisati, who will kick off the evening. Please join me in welcoming Rob.
Thank you so much, Amanda, and thank you everyone for being here. This is such an exciting time. We know it's been a long admission cycle for everyone, and now you're at that really critical juncture of making that final decision. And that's why we're here tonight, to help you understand why Stony Brook needs to be at the top of your list by May 1st. And you all know that May 1st is the national deadline. I have my little friend here, Wolfie. He's here to provide some answer some questions in case Dean Rob forgets the answers. But I want to just congratulate the students on your admission to Stony Brook. Just to put this into perspective, what that means, this year we received more than 40,000 applications for our first year class of 3,400. Yes, 40,000. So be very proud that you are special, that you are part of this incoming class of one of our most competitive classes in Stony Brook's history. So kudos to all of you students for your accomplishments. We read all your applications, we read your credentials, your essays, your recommendations. Very, very impressive. And so wonderful opportunities that you're gonna learn about tonight. I'm sure you know a lot about us, but you're gonna learn a little bit more about us tonight. I want to also put into perspective for the family members out there, because we know without you, your students would have struggled, would not have perhaps had as much of support to get through this process. So thank you, parents and siblings and family members, for helping your students through this journey. You continue to play a very, very important role. Now, why Stony Brook? You know, and when I talk about Stony Brook, and I know I'm going to have to be brief because I could talk forever. I talk about it not just because I work in the admissions office for 30 years, but I'm also an alum. I am part of the history of this incredible university. And it is a very diverse campus. We have folks from all over the globe coming here. So it's a very multicultural campus. We have very talented students, clearly, working very, very hard in over 200 clubs and organizations and majors and minors and research programs. I always try to tell students, learning in college is a little bit different than learning in high school. In high school, you're given information and you're going to study and memorize it, and then you're going to return that information on an exam. But in college, you're questioning and you're asking, well, why is something so? And if I change some of the variables along the way, can I change the outcome? And that's very much at the core of what research does. We're a big research university. As one of the flagship SUNY campuses of the State University of New York, our undergraduates are actively engaged in cutting edge research. As a matter of fact, about 2,000 of our students participate in undergraduate research each year. That's pretty incredible. And many of them are published as a result of that research, and many of them present their research locally and nationally at conferences. So it's a big thing when you're taking information and theory and you're sort of testing it out. And that's how our students learn. They learn from each other. They learn from our faculty. They learn from folks in different campuses. It's really a really holistic learning process. And it's a really cool place to be. And one of the things I found, particularly over the last couple of years, is how much our students really care about each other and how they are committed to taking care of each other. And that's a very humbling kind of experience. So yes, we know we are a top university, and we are a top 40 public university, and we are the top 10 most diverse universities. Yes, we know all that, and we publish all that. But what you don't know is the magic of who our students are and why they're here and what they bring to the table and how they help each other. And that's something unique. Even though we're considered a medium-sized school, there are lots of communities that make this place a very small, intimate kind of experience. And as you're thinking about your checklist of what are the must-haves for your college, you're going to be thinking about, well, what kind of support is available? What is the student experience like? What is the food like? Yeah, to be honest, we have to eat, right? What is it like? What is the culture of our campus like? What type of academic support is available through tutoring services? How approachable are faculty? These are the things and the kinds of questions that we hope you ask, because that's how you're going to differentiate school A from school B and how one school will elevate from among the others that are on your list. We know you have great choices. We know we are the best choice, and we're going to convince you tonight, if we haven't already, of that. And our students here are going to share their perspective, and that's really important. Listen to the students, because they give you what I call reality, the current student experience, because they're basically a reflection of you. You're going to be going through this process. They went through this process, and they can share their insight with you. So I want to just welcome you all here and congratulate you on your admission to Stony Brook. And if you haven't visited campus yet, it's not too late. We have a host of events, both on campus and also virtually. I know Amanda mentioned some of those. And it's important because you want to get a sense of what is the campus really like. You've seen the brochures, you've looked at the websites, but there's still something about when you actually can come on the campus and feel the pulse of the culture. So if you haven't done that already, there's still time, and we welcome you to do that as well. So I'm going to stop because I can go on and on because I'm really excited. And I think Wolfie is telling me it's time to cut me off because it's not my show. I'm just here to welcome you. And I want to turn this back to Amanda, who's going to take this on and really work with our students and share some amazing insight about their perspective. And that perspective, I hope you take notes on, and I hope you really think long and hard about how you see yourself in this wonderful university that we call Stony Brook. So again, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you all here on campus. I'm gonna mute my camera now so I won't be a distraction, but I'm still gonna be in the background. I'm gonna be listening. I'm gonna be responding to questions. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about all of you. So have a wonderful time with this great program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rob. Just a couple more housekeeping notes. You can use the Q&A feature if questions come up throughout the panel. And during the panel discussion, we may have several students answer the same question so that you can get a few different perspectives on what Stony Brook is all about and on answers to these popular questions. And we're going to start off today with Annika. First, she's going to introduce herself, and then she's going to tell us a little bit about some of the ways Stony Brook students find research opportunities. Annika, it's all yours.
Hi, congratulations to everyone and welcome. So as Amanda introduced, I'm Annika. I'm a junior here at Stony Brook, double majoring in Spanish and biology. I'm on the pre-med track. To give you a little background, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, so that's about a 5-ish hour flight to New York, so quite the commute. Just a little bit about how I'm involved on campus, what I do. I'm part of the University Scholars Program here. I'm a Forever Fellow, as well as a research assistant and a TA. I've loved getting involved in different clubs on campus, from a nonprofit called Paper Airplanes to the Spanish Language Club. I volunteer as a Spanish interpreter, and so definitely have loved getting involved both on campus and in the community. Going into a little bit about research, as mentioned previously, we are a research heavy campus, so there's plenty of opportunities, and that was one thing that pulled me here because that was definitely something I was looking for. So I am a research assistant in a pathology lab at the School of Medicine here on campus. Actually just came back from presenting my research at a national conference in Philadelphia yesterday. So it's a testament to really this university is great at providing research opportunities and the level of research being done here. And I found that a lot of PIs and professors are very open to having students in their lab. They really encourage you to learn and to engage on that level. And they're very approachable. So, you know, you can email them, you can approach them about these opportunities. And if they don't have anything open or they're not able to take you in their lab, they definitely will point you down a path or refer you to someone that may be able to provide that opportunity. Also on the website, so for me, I'm a biology major, so on the bio department website, that was where I first got a list of opportunities, and there's plenty of routes that you can take to get involved.
Thank you so much. Our next question is for Xenia. Could you introduce yourself and then just describe some ways that you got involved in campus clubs or organizations, or ways that the university, provides access to those groups?
Yeah, so hi everybody, welcome. My name is Xenia. I am a junior here at Stony Brook, like Annika, and I am a double major in journalism and sociology with a minor in media arts. It's quite a mouthful, but and I'm involved a lot on campus, but I'm just going to talk specifically about some of the things that I'm most involved in. So I am an assistant opinions editor at The Statesman, which is Stony Brook University's oldest and most well-recognized campus newspaper. And I do opinions. So basically it's a lot of free form writing. Basically, if you have an opinion, you can write about it essentially. And the way that I got involved with The Statesman on campus was through involvement fairs. And I feel like the involvement fairs at Stony Brook are really a great way to kind of scope out your options. I know for me, when I was coming in, I was really unsure about what I wanted to pursue because I just was doing journalism at the time. But I was able to see a lot of what the campus offered. And as I think Rob mentioned, there are over 200 clubs on campus, and a lot of them are really great. And I am involved with a lot of those. And so with The Statesman in particular, I started off just writing, and basically if you write 5 articles for them, you become a staff writer. So you start off as a contributing writer, and then you move on to a staff writer. And then from there, you can work your way up and apply for more positions like assistant editors, managing editors, copy editors. And I personally really like that you're able to, I guess, ascend higher up, because it just kind of, it's a really good testament to the way that Stony Brook can keep, not just have clubs, but keep people interested and keep people engaged in their club. And I think with The Statesman, it is a unique situation because they are a 501c, so they are a nonprofit organization, but they are still very much affiliated with Stony Brook. So for me, I think that was a really good opportunity because it not only is fun to do because I love writing, but it also helps me get published, which, I mean, obviously with research, you want to get published as well, but as a journalism major, it's really important that you get published so that you can use it on your portfolio or on your clips. So that's kind of why I like it. And they have 2 involvement fairs, one every semester. And I really like how many clubs there are and everything you get involved with. So that's kind of my answer, essentially.
Thank you. And Xenia, just so everyone knows, is from California. So she may have come to Stony Brook from one of the furthest US locations.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm from the Bay Area.
Excellent, thank you. And our next question is for Viola. Same question, describe ways to get involved in clubs and organizations, any specific groups that you're actively involved in, and how are new members welcome to these groups? And if you could also please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations on being admitted to this great school. My name is Viola. I am a freshman here. I'm also a journalism major, and I'm part of the Honors College. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm a bit more local. I'm from Waterbury. It's about 2.5 hours away, so I can either drive home or take the ferry, which is kind of nice. For clubs and organizations, I'm also an assistant editor on The Statesman, but I'm in news, so different side of it. But I'm also the president of the Student Blood Drive Committee here on campus. And like previously mentioned, the involvement fairs are a great way to get involved on campus. Just walking around one of your first weeks here and seeing all the tables and seeing all the different groups that you can be a part of. It can be overwhelming at first. You don't even know where to start. But if you just take your time, kind of look around, that's how I found the Blood Drive Committee. I found it last semester, and now I'm the president of it and I'm running it. So like previously mentioned before too, it's nice that you can kind of ascend through the clubs. You can have administrative roles, you can have e-board positions, which is a great opportunity to have for your own personal leadership skills and to add to your resume to get involved on campus. In terms of new members, we're always welcoming new members. If you miss the involvement fair, it is no worries. It is no big deal. You can go on SB Engage. It's one of our student group websites, and you can look through all the clubs we have on campus. You can request to join them, and it sends an email to whoever's in charge. They can admit you in, and from there you can see when the general body meetings are. You can see when events are. You're always welcome to join. Some other clubs may be a bit more selective based on what they are, if they're honor societies, say. But in terms of at least the Blood Drive Committee, anyone can join, anyone can come help out, and it's definitely encouraged.
Thank you. Our next question is for Annika. Describe what your college classes are like. If you can think back to your first year, to lab classes, your upper division classes that you're in now, what can a student at Stony Brook expect from coursework and from classes and class size, but also in terms of faculty, connecting with faculty, their approachability, and any services that have been useful for you at Stony Brook?
So I think Stony Brook offers a wide variety of the type of classes. I've been in classes where there's hundreds of students. So, my freshman year when I was taking some chemistry courses and some biology courses, to now where I'm in classes with 15 other people. So it definitely does vary. But even in the classes where there are so many other students, it was very much, you're still very much able to contact the professors, get in touch with them. And also you do have TAs for those classes. So the bigger classes tend to have not just one TA, but many TAs. And the TAs, both undergraduate and graduate, are amazing. They truly have helped me throughout. So I wouldn't hesitate to contact them or worry about not being able to really get in touch with faculty, or if you were feeling like maybe that class size is not compatible or not the best for your learning style, there are many resources around campus that can help you. For example, we do have the Academic Success and Tutoring Center on campus, as well as another variety of resources. In terms of labs, so I had a different type of experience because my second semester here is when actually we went online. So I got transitioned was taking the lab in class and then got moved to online, but it still was great. It's still a great learning experience. And now I'm, as I mentioned before, working in a lab, so I still was able to transfer those skills to in person. So not only are the faculty approachable, but you have a variety of resources and people that are more than willing and more than happy to help you out.
Thank you. Our next question is for Xenia. Describe the Stony Brook campus for us. Do you have a favorite place on campus or favorite things to do in the area? And especially compared to the Bay Area, what do you think of Long Island and how does it compare to where you're from in terms of climate, transportation, food, and things to do?
Yeah, so I would say one of my favorite places to I guess to just hang out around campus is the student union. I work there as an intern for the student engagement and activities department. So I spend a lot of my time in the student union, but I also, there is a lounge on the first floor that I like to do my work in, and I get a lot of work done there. I also like the SAC food court. The stir fry station is probably my favorite food on campus. It is delicious. And how it compares to the Bay Area, I mean, obviously the weather is different. It gets colder during the winter months, and even in the spring it's rainy and gloomy. But I would say that I mean, I feel like to me that wasn't really a factor in my decision to come here, just because I knew that I wanted to. This might sound weird, but I really wanted to experience those types of climates on a regular basis, because in California that's not really very common, and like in order for me to go, I would have to go somewhere else to experience that. But I got to experience snow and everything like on a long-term basis, which I really liked. And definitely Long Island has better public transit than California. There are lots of buses and trains that I use frequently. There's a Sunday shuttle that takes students to Target and Walmart, and it's free for students. Same thing with there is Smith Haven. There's a Suffolk County Transit bus line. I take it a lot. That is free for students on the weekends, but it is discounted, I believe, on weekdays. And it takes you to Smith Haven Mall, which is a really big like shopping plaza. And it has like Trader Joe's. It has a bunch of stores. It has Sephora. It has a bunch of like great places to go. And I personally like using that. They also take you to Port Jefferson. There is a Port Jefferson shuttle that's available throughout select times from Stony Brook itself, but also there is a Suffolk County bus that takes you to Port Jefferson. And Port Jefferson I really like. It's like a really nice harbor. There's lots of restaurants and everything. So all the buses usually they're really straightforward, and they're free for students on weekends, which I really like. And all you have to do, there's an app that you can download and it tells you where to go. And even the bus system on campus is really good. I have a class in the Tabler Center, which is far from where I am. So I always take the bus to get there, and it saves me a lot of time. So even the bus system on campus is really good. They have lots of buses for different places. If you need to go to, you know, if you need to go to the SAC, if you need to go to the South P lot, if you need to go to everywhere, they have a lot of buses that will take you there, and they run pretty late. So I really like that. So that's my answer.
Excellent, thank you. Our next question is for Viola. Could you describe diversity and inclusion at Stony Brook? Would you characterize Stony Brook as a diverse campus community? Do you belong to any clubs or organizations that focus on social challenges, cultural or ethnic groups, political or religious groups? And could you describe what that's like and why it's important to you?
So diversity was really important to me when choosing a school. I am from a really diverse inner city, so I've always grown up in a very diverse environment with people from a bunch of different backgrounds. So when I was choosing a college campus, that was one of my top priorities. And I would definitely say that Stony Brook is a diverse campus. You can meet people from all walks of life here. And as cliche as that sounds, it is definitely true. I have a ton of international friends. I am personally not a part of any cultural clubs or social issue clubs, but a lot of my roommates are. I live in a suite, so I have multiple roommates, but a lot of my roommates are. A lot of my friends are, and they are very involved on campus. We have tabling events that are not part of involvement fairs. They can be at any point during the semester. There was one today. I was tabling for the blood drive, and there was a political group on campus tabling next to me. So there are definitely always groups that are on campus, speaking about whatever issue they're covering, whatever facet of life that they are focusing on. So it's definitely great to get involved in those. Even if you aren't participating in the club, it's great to sometimes just stop by the table, see what they have to say, educate yourself. And that's not even with the groups, but just the people around you. It's always great to meet new people, talk to them, see the different lifestyles that they're living, because obviously, I mean, a lot of people are coming from their hometown that they've been in for most or all of their lives. And so it's definitely good to get out and see new perspectives from people across the country and the world here.
Thank you. Our next question is for Annika. Experiences for your resume. Could you tell us a little bit about like what is the role of a teaching assistant or a TA? What are the responsibilities and benefits? And in a class, if you were a TA, describe what it was like, kind of daily expectations, class size, professors' teaching methods.
Definitely. So I am a TA for a Spanish course right now. And so the way the course is structured is that we meet twice a week. So it's a Monday, Wednesday course. So I just met with them a couple of hours ago. And I think it varies per class if you attend the classes every day. So for some courses, you can attend as a TA if it's like, taught 3 times a week, just twice, and then you attend the recitation. So it does vary per class, but the one that I love about TAing for the Spanish course I'm doing right now is that the professor and I will chat about, what we want to go over that day. And the professor very much values my opinion. So she'll ask me, how can we better help students with this? Or what can we incorporate into the curriculum or into the class that can promote more involvement? So there are opportunities where you're able to not only develop your communication skills, your leadership skills, but this was one course that I took a couple years ago, and so now I'm TAing it now. So it also refreshes that material as well. So I think there is definitely a lot of positives to becoming a TA. And you can contact your professors if there was a course that you were incredibly passionate about and really interested in. I would recommend contacting that professor, asking them about opportunities to TA for that course. And most of the times the professors are really receptive and they love having a TA for the course, and they love seeing someone so passionate about that material.
Thank you. Xenia, our next question is for you, and it's about living on campus. Obviously, our out-of-state students and even students from areas throughout New York State will not be commuting to campus. We're definitely a residential campus with usually close to 10,000 students living with us. Can you describe what an RA is, a resident assistant, what they do, if you've had experiences with RAs or been an RA, and how do they impact your campus experience? And a little bit about, favorite parts of living away from home or on campus.
Sorry. Yeah, so I have lived on campus. I've lived in several different areas. I lived in Benedict, which is in H community. I lived there my first 2 years, and then now I'm currently living in Tubman Hall, which is housing for U3 and U4 students, so students who have junior or senior standing. And with both of these experiences, there was a really great community because in most of the buildings, or if not all of the residential buildings on campus, there are lounges, there's communal spaces where you can gather and meet people. And that's how I met a lot of my friends freshman year, was by going to these lounges and meeting people and just hanging out there. And I think that's a really important part of the living experience here, is just getting to meet new people and even just introducing yourself. Because I was, like a scared freshman, as we all were at one point, and, everybody's in the same boat. So I just kind of made an effort to sit in the lounge and kind of talk to people. And that really helped my experience overall. But in terms of the RA, so RAs are resident assistants on campus. They are usually students. And basically they are just kind of the to-go person if you have issues with roommates, if you have any, other sort of living problems, or just in general, if you want to talk to them. They are really great resources if you don't know your way around campus, and they're just there to help support you. And they're in every building on every floor. And I know as you get further into your academic career, in some of the buildings that are for upperclassmen or for suite style, it's a little bit harder to have that community, but the RAs really make an effort to incorporate programming and different events that help bring campus together, even in those kinds of buildings. And our RAs are really great. They communicate with their residents. They always have their boards done with different resources that you can use, and they're very creative. So I find that those are really good ways to interact with them, and they're always on duty. There's always someone on duty. So if you need anything, if it's like 5 a.m. and you are locked out, you can call them and they can help you out. So I think they're just a really great resource for students who maybe are kind of unsure of approaching adult figures or just kind of don't really feel safe doing that. There's RAs that are students just like us, and they're really good at helping you out and making the community feel a lot better and a lot more student focused. And I've had a really good experience living on campus so far. So yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is for Viola. Do you have friends from a variety of majors yet? I know you're a first-year student, but do you find that you connect more with students with similar academic and career interests? Or do you find that it's been, kind of easy to meet students from a wide range of areas?
So I definitely have a lot of friends from a lot of different majors. I currently live in a suite now, so there are 6 people in our suite, and I'm the only non-STEM major in my suite. So I do have a lot of friends from other majors that are very, very different than my own, which is very cool to talk to them about and see their perspective and see, their courses compared to mine, because it is very different work that we are all doing. I do meet a lot of people in my major, specifically in my journalism classes. The School of Communications and Journalism is a very small program, which I personally like because it is a smaller community within the larger campus. So I definitely get the best of both worlds of having friends from STEM majors and my journalism classes as well. Also, if you get involved in groups on campus that aren't specific to your major, for example, the Statesman newspaper that I'm on, you're going to find a lot more journalism majors and part of that group. But in the blood drive committee, we have a bunch of different majors. There's a studio art major, double majors in psychology, sociology, and then, engineering, biochem, anything you could really think of. So that is a great way if you get involved in those groups where it allows multiple people to come together that isn't necessarily major reliant.
Thank you. Annika, we have a question for you. Do you have also similar kind of perspective over your last few years? Have you met students from a variety of majors as well, or do you find that you connect more with students with similar academic and career interests? And how has that impacted your experience at Stony Brook so far?
Yeah, so going back to freshman year, my freshman year roommates were different majors, we had different career paths, different career interests, but they still are some of my best friends today. So, and that's the same with now. I live in a suite with 3 other people, and we all are different majors as well. Some of us are on the pre-med path, some of us aren't. So I think it's very much possible to meet people from a variety of backgrounds, pursuing a variety of interests on campus. And it, as Viola said, it provides great insight into everything happening on campus. I do find that, I like having friends from different backgrounds and different career interests. And it's also great because you do have communities of people that are pursuing similar interests as you. So it does help, when you're trying to study for the MCAT, for example, which I was just doing. So one of my roommates was doing the same thing. And so it's very nice to have that support and someone going through the same thing as you, but as well as people pursuing other interests as well.
Thank you. Xenia, how did you know that Stony Brook was the right school for you. Back when you were in high school, thinking about where you'd be going to college. And could you discuss a little bit about how you first heard about Stony Brook, and some of the things that influenced your decision to continue your education here?
Yeah, so basically when I was looking at schools, I had several requirements that Stony Brook met. First of all, I wanted a school that was big. My high school was very small. Our graduating class was 80 students, which at the time was the largest population that they had. So, it was big to me, but obviously it might not seem very big to you. And so I wanted a campus that, wasn't just full of people that I had gone to high school with or gone to school with for all 4 years. I wanted to have fresh faces that I would see every day. And so that was kind of another reason why I chose it. And also, as Viola mentioned, the School of Communication and Journalism is a really good program. It's the only accredited journalism program in all of the SUNY schools. And they do really great work. A lot of our graduates go on to work for major publications like CNN, NBC, and everything like that. And we even have the Stony Brook Media Group, which they get featured on ESPN for their halftime reports. They get featured on a bunch of news outlets for their work. So I knew that Stony Brook was a good fit for me because the journalism program was really strong, and because I saw that a lot of people who went to Stony Brook were really successful and they were able to get really good journalism careers. And so that's kind of another reason why I picked it, was because I really wanted something that would give me a good education that was relatively close to New York City, where, journalism is located primarily, and something that was a lot bigger than my previous school. So those were a lot of the factors that I considered. And ultimately, Stony Brook ended up being the best choice for me for the reasons that I mentioned for my major specifically. And just because of the campus life and because of all of the great opportunities that I've had, there's an abundance of opportunities that you can be a part of on campus, which is what I really like. You're able to, join clubs halfway through the semester. You're able to change your major. You're able to do anything. And I really like the flexibility that Stony Brook offered me in terms of that. And also, they have a really good study abroad program. And I really wanted to do a study abroad when I was in high school. And that was one of my other factors, that Stony Brook has a really good study abroad program. Other SUNY schools come to Stony Brook to do study abroad, and I'm doing study abroad in the fall. I'm going to Madrid. So I'm really glad that I was able to take advantage of that. Obviously with COVID and the pandemic and everything, before I graduate. So those are some of the reasons that I chose personally, because I thought that Stony Brook was a really great way to get my foot in the door professionally, but also it had really great opportunities for me academically.
Excellent, thank you. Our next question is for Viola. Transportation. What's it like getting to campus from your hometown? Do you go home a lot, or have you found that you really stick around on campus? And what's just transportation in general like? Have you used the bike share program, the Long Island Railroad, or any of the local buses?
Yeah, so I actually have my car on campus this semester. So this semester commuting has been a bit easier than it was last semester, because I can drive home. Like I mentioned earlier, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. But before that, I was taking the ferry home. So it really wasn't that bad. I have friends with cars on campus that would drive me 15 minutes to the ferry. I would take it over an hour to Connecticut and just get picked up by someone there. So it was super easy. I don't go home that often. It's really just for holidays, family events that I have going on. If there are concerts at my friends' schools that I want to go to, I'll sometimes go and visit them. But I don't find myself going home very often because I don't want to be here or for any reason like that. I think it's the perfect distance for me personally, where if I wanted to go home to see my family or see my friends, I could easily do so, but it is that nice distance where it feels like it's a new state, it's a new experience, and I really like that part of it. I have not used the bike share on campus yet, but my roommates swear by it. They use it all the time. They love it. I just prefer to walk. I don't want to deal with the book bag falling. No. But they use it all the time. They enjoy it. There is a shuttle to Port Jefferson that we used to use a bunch before I had my car on campus. And we would take that all the time on a Friday or a Saturday to go down, go out to eat, look at all the shops, even just sit by the water. So that was really great. And we have taken the Long Island Railroad. I saw a couple questions in the Q&A about going to the city and how often we do that. And we have taken multiple trips to New York City throughout this first year. And the train station is right down the street from my dorm. So it's a 5-minute walk. We get the tickets on our phones, and it's about 1.5 to 2 hour train ride into the city with all the stops. And we'll just spend an afternoon there. We'll spend, a couple hours there at night and then come right back. And it's a really seamless process, and it's a lot of fun.
I have a follow-up question from someone in the Q&A. We've kind of been mentioning apps that you can use for on-campus transportation. You can buy your ticket now for the Long Island Railroad online, or and on your phone. Can you talk a little bit about those, or can you follow up about what apps you might use on campus or off?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest apps that I use, I think, are SBU Transit and Passio Go. So SBU Transit is mostly for the buses that run on campus. And then Passio Go is the one that I was using for the Port Jeff shuttle. To get our train tickets, I'm pretty sure we just had, I think it was like the NTA app, and we just downloaded it right on there. And they also, at the train station, they have like the booths where you can get like your ticket from if you need to, if you either don't have the app on your phone or something happens. So it's really easy to navigate.
Yeah, and for me, the apps that I use are similar to Viola. I use the MTA app to get tickets for the LIRR, but I also use this app called Train Time. And that just kind of shows you the times for the LIRR, for which line you want, from where you just put in what your starting destination is and what your ending destination is. And it tells you all the trains that are running at that time. So I've used that a lot. It's very helpful. And I use, for the bus systems, I use Double Map, because you're able to click on the stop that you're at, and it tells you which buses are coming and how long they are, or how far away they are from where you are at. So that is really helpful for me to navigate, as I said, because I have a class that's far away from where I live. So those are the ones that I primarily use for transportation.
Can you put those in the chat, just in case people want to look them up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent. Yeah, I think that once you're a student at Stony Brook, you find there are endless resources for being successful at Stony Brook and getting around. Our next question is for Annika, and similar question that we had before for Xenia, but how did you know that Stony Brook was right for you? Describe how you first heard or kind of discovered Stony Brook, what it was that made you want to come to the East Coast and pursue your education here.
So as I mentioned before, I was very much looking for a research-based university, and Stony Brook was huge on that. And so I came for admitted students day, and there was a university scholars panel as well. So the program that I was admitted into. And so they had a whole panel, and actually there was a student who's from Arizona on that panel as well. So when I heard him talk about his experience coming from Phoenix as well, and speaking to a couple of students afterwards, they were all incredibly friendly. You felt very welcomed, very like there was no hesitation in asking them questions, and they were so happy to help you out. And so that really cemented my decision to come here. And then throughout the semester, I won't lie, there were moments where I felt very homesick, but that's just coming from someone who came from a state where the sun doesn't stop shining, haven't been away from home for that long. But throughout the semester, I met some amazing friends, and they definitely helped me throughout. And then I got more involved on campus through the University Scholars Program, through other organizations on campus. And that definitely helped, and that kind of cemented my decision to stay here, and then also encouraged me to get even more involved.
Thank you. Xenia, a question for you about finding friends from a variety of majors, or whether you connect more with students with similar academic and career interests, and what that experience has been like for you at Stony Brook.
Yeah, so I have a lot of friends that, again, are not, I'm not in pre-med. I'm usually the only one in my friend group that is not pre-med. And I have a lot of friends both in the journalism department and out of the journalism department. The School of Communication and Journalism itself is very tight knit. So you kind of see a lot of the same people in your classes. And so it's a really great way to meet friends, especially that are in your major, that can help you out. But a lot of my roommates have been either, pre-med or some sort of like science-based major. So I'm able to meet new people that way. And through, again, like socializing on campus and in the dorms, I'm really able to meet a wide variety of people, which I think really helps. I remember my last semester, I met one of my best friends on campus, literally because we were both in the same hallway and we would just go back and forth from each other's rooms and just hang out. So that's kind of, and she's an English and art major. So again, like it's different from what my major is, but I was able to make friends from that just because our rooms were next to each other and we hung out all the time. So it really, like, again, like it doesn't necessarily, just because you're in a certain major doesn't mean you have to stick to the friends that are there. You can also make friends in your dorm or in your clubs as well. Clubs are a really great way to meet people outside of your major. Because a lot of the clubs that focus primarily on interest rather than careers, I guess. So I'm part of FMLA, which is a feminist club on campus. And a lot of the people in that club are not journalism majors, but I'm still able to have really good connections with people because we all bond over the same interests in the club. So for me, I don't find it very hard to make friends outside of the major that I'm in. There's lots of opportunities to make new friends and to make friends within your major as well. I don't know, I can't speak for other people's experiences, but I know for me personally, I really enjoy the closeness that the School of Communication and Journalism has, because you're able to, there's kind of like a kinship that you form with the people that are in the same major. You're kind of going through the same stuff together, and it's really great because they can introduce you to opportunities as well. And so can your roommates. So I just think that there's a lot of different ways to make different types of friends on campus if that's something that is really important to you. So that's kind of what I have. I have a lot of friends that my roommate is a psychology major. Like I said, one of my best friends is an English and art major. I have a friend who's in computer science. There's just a wide variety of majors and people that you can meet on campus.
Thank you. I have a question for Viola. How did you know that Stony Brook was right for you? And discuss how you first heard about Stony Brook and what were some of the things that made you kind of choose us for your college education.
So I first heard about Stony Brook when I was researching journalism programs in the Northeast. I knew that I didn't want to go too far from home. I was looking at schools mostly in New York and Massachusetts. And when I was looking at Stony Brook, I saw that it was a ranked journalism program in the Northeast. We do have a phenomenal program here. But I really knew that it was right for me when I was first accepted. And the School of Communications reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to have a meeting with our dean? Do you want to talk to her? And I was really taken back by that because it was really the only school that I was accepted to that showed just as much interest in me as I showed in the school. A lot of schools that I applied to when I was accepted, it was kind of an era of, oh, well, we accepted you, so now it's up to you to take these next steps. Stony Brook consistently followed up with me, sent me panels like this. It was during the pandemic, so there weren't a lot of tours going on. Someone from the School of Communications and Journalism reached out to me and allowed me to come on a weekend and gave me a tour on a weekend. So it's just the little things like that that really made a difference and made me feel like I was wanted at this school just as much as I wanted to be a part of it.
That is so nice to hear. Well, we have a few minutes and we have gone through, kind of our earlier asked questions. So I have an option if anyone would like to answer this question from our audience. If anyone has kind of what your biggest challenge was as an out-of-state student, or have you had any challenges at all as an out-of-state or non-out-of-state student, and whether that was something that was easy to resolve, or if there's nothing that comes to mind, that's fine too. Anyone?
I'll go. I think one of my biggest challenges that I was a little nervous for was meeting people. If you're coming from another state, if you don't know someone who's going from your high school with you, it can be overwhelming. You're moving into an entirely new environment where you don't know anybody. My biggest advice is just talk to people. It may seem kind of weird and awkward at first, but everybody is in the same exact position that you are. Everybody's new. Everybody's looking for friends. Whether you're friends with them for just a day, just to get you through a lunch, just to get you through your afternoon, and then maybe you part your ways after that. Just talk to everyone that you're around. If you're sitting at a dining hall, say hi. If you sit in the first week of classes, just say hi to the people next to you. It doesn't hurt. If they don't want to talk to you, that's perfectly fine. There are plenty of other people on this campus to talk to. So I found that my anxiety about that was eased very, very quickly after being here for 3 days.
That's great. Anyone else? We have some additional questions. Does anyone want to talk about how if you remember, how you selected your roommate when you were first enrolling at Stony Brook, what that roommate selection process was like?
Yeah, so basically on the housing portal, when you sign up to get housing on campus, they ask you to fill out a bunch of personal information, stuff like what time do you go to bed, how late do you study, and then from there you're also able to, there's a little section for your bio, so you're able to put like who you are as a person, what kind of activities you like doing, stuff like that, and then from there you're able to see which people have high compatibility with you. There's in the portal, you're able to see the percentage of compatibility that potential roommates could have. So that makes it easier to avoid having bad roommates, but you can also look at their bios and see if you guys have similar interests. I find that usually minimizes conflict and you're able to get along better because you have something to talk about when you're introducing yourself. So I really use the housing portal to kind of gauge which roommates would be a best fit for me. I try to make the description very thorough, just so they have a really good idea of me. And I like to link my social media if I have any, which is also a really good thing because then you can it's more personal because you can private message them through there instead of on the housing app. And you're able to get a glimpse of what they look like and what they are like as a person through their social media. And I find that that's really helpful in getting to know someone that you're just meeting or not meeting face-to-face until the beginning of the semester. So if you are going to do housing, I like to put my Instagram in my bio, just so you're able to check it out and like talk to people and everything. And fill it out as detailed as you can, just so that you're able to see a really accurate comparison of which roommates would be best for you.
Thank you, Xenia. We have another question. I don't know if anyone wants to answer this, but it's kind of an interesting question. What surprised you most when you arrived at Stony Brook? And I guess that could be whether it was the first time you visited or once you were moving in. Anyone want to tackle that or have any thoughts on surprises on campus?
I can answer this one. One of the biggest surprises that I found coming to campus was how big it was. When I took the tour, walking around, I was like, oh, this is no problem. I can figure out where I'm going. And then when I actually was living here, I was like, oh, okay, that's quite a far walk. Or like, oh, I'm kind of getting lost. But as a first year student, I was here for a week before classes actually started. And in that week, I got to know every inch of this campus. I walked everywhere I could just to get a layout. When you get your schedule ahead of time, go to your classes, just so you know where they are. It'll be a lot easier for you to navigate on your first day or throughout your first week. So that was one thing that definitely surprised me. And it honestly continues to surprise me throughout the year, and not necessarily just about the size of it, but just the whole culture and community as a whole. The college experience you're walking through, and it almost feels like we're in our own little town or city here, because it is very big and there are so many people. It does feel like its own community here with a ton of people just doing their thing, and that you can meet.
Thank you, Viola. Another question that came in, and I think this is really interesting also, is there any place on campus or activity that you participate in when you need to de-stress? And who doesn't, right? Anyone want to tackle the stress question related to campus or campus activities?
So for me personally, I really like the atrium in the humanities building, especially at night. It's very dimly lit and there's a lot of tables and everything, so you're able to relax there. And if you want to listen to music or anything like that, that's also something that is really cool and a lot of people like to use. There's a really nice like skylight that you can that's also there, which makes the ambiance a lot better. And in terms of activities, student engagement activities has a lot of spa day programming. I know CPO, which is the Center for Prevention and Outreach, they have wellness bars every week where they give out like spa kits and they give you a lot of de-stressing tips. So those are really great activities that you can do to de-stress. But I find that I de-stress a lot through clubs on campus too, like going to a club that's about something you're interested in. I find that helps de-stresses me because I'm able to think about something other than school and just hang out with people, and it's very chill. But off campus, if you're looking for something like that, I would say Port Jeff is a really great way to de-stress because there's a lot of restaurants, coffee houses, there's a beach on there as well. And also Target. I mean, retail, I love retail therapy. So I find that that's really good at de-stressing. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you can do what I do and like make a grocery list and just go to Target and spend 4 hours there just buying stuff, because that makes me feel better. So there's lots of things that you can do on campus to help alleviate your stress. Yeah.
Thank you. That was great. I agree. Target is always good for a good hour-long shopping. It gets all your worries away till you get the bill. Annika, we have a question specifically for you from Colin, who wants to know, he is from Phoenix, and he's wondering what it was like getting used to the cold weather. And is that something he should consider as kind of a top factor in his decision-making process for Stony Brook or college in general on the East Coast?
Hi, Colin. Good question. Well, nice to see someone else from Phoenix. I won't lie, I still do feel cold. I don't think that's ever going to change for me, just having been born and raised up in Phoenix, but I wouldn't say use that as one of your differentiating or your top factors. At first, it does seem like really cold, you're like, can you brave through the winter, especially that first winter? But as long as you put on your coats, put on your boots, all that, fun stuff to keep you warm, you will be fine. My roommates freshman year were from New York, from around the area. So before I'd leave, like some days they'd be like, no, you're gonna feel cold. Maybe put on some more layers. But you will get used to it. And honestly, I find it, in the springtime when it starts to get warmer, it's just so much nicer. Like you appreciate it to a much greater extent. And now when I go back home to Phoenix sometimes, like in December, I was like, oh, this is not really that cold. So you also get to enjoy when you go home, because then you're not, shivering in the Phoenix cold. But yeah, definitely don't let that deter you. And it'll be something that'll just be a little bump, but it won't be something to hinder you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. We are just shy of 8 p.m., so we did it. We met our deadline and our timeline. It looks like we have answered over 122 questions this evening, plus our panel questions. Congratulations to all of you as you make your final college decisions. We wish you the best of luck. We truly hope to meet you on campus in the fall and welcome you to the university. For any follow-up questions that we were unable to answer this evening, you are more than welcome to call the admissions office or email us at enroll@stonybrook.edu. But from my colleagues from admissions and our panel, we want to say best wishes and stay healthy. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.